One of the first laws we encounter in our Bible study of Deuteronomy 25 is the law of retaliation, often referred to as an eye for an eye. This law might seem harsh to us, but it was actually meant to limit vengeance. In ancient times, it was common for people to seek excessive revenge for wrongs done to them. This law aimed to ensure that the punishment fit the crime and that it was carried out fairly. Deuteronomy 25 verse 2 specifically states, if there is a case of injury and the judges decide between one person and another and they declare the guilty one guilty, they shall flog him according to the number of blows deserved for his crime. This highlights the importance of judicial oversight in determining appropriate punishment. While we no longer practice an eye for an eye literally, the principle behind it remains relevant. It reminds us that justice should be served, but it should be done fairly and without excessive cruelty. Deuteronomy 25 verse 4 states, "You shall not muzzle an ox while it is treading out the grain." This seemingly simple law about oxen has a deeper meaning about protecting the vulnerable. Oxen were essential for agriculture in ancient Israel. They worked hard to thresh the grain, separating it from the chaff. Muzzling an ox while it worked would be cruel, depriving it of the sustenance it deserved. This law teaches us that we have a responsibility to treat all creatures with compassion, especially those who work hard for us. It reminds us that even in our pursuit of profit or productivity, we should not exploit or mistreat those who are dependent on us. This principle extends beyond animals to all vulnerable members of society, reminding us to treat everyone with dignity and respect. Levirate marriage, described in Deuteronomy 25 verses 5 to 10, was a custom designed to protect widows and ensure the continuation of family lines. If a man died without a son, his brother was obligated to marry his widow. The first son born from this union would then inherit the deceased brother's name and property, ensuring that his lineage continued. This practice provided financial security for the widow and prevented her from being left destitute. While this practice might seem strange to us today, it reflects the importance placed on family and inheritance in ancient Israelite society. It highlights their commitment to caring for widows and orphans. Although Levirate marriage is no longer practiced, the underlying principle of providing for the vulnerable remains relevant. We still have a responsibility to care for those in need, especially widows and orphans who are often marginalized in society. The importance of accurate weights and measures. Deuteronomy chapter 25 verses 13 to 16 emphasizes the importance of honesty in business dealings, specifically regarding weights and measures. It states, "You shall not have in your bag two kinds of weights, a large and a small. You shall not have in your house two kinds of measures, a large and a small." This law aimed to prevent merchants from cheating their customers by using different weights and measures for buying and selling. Such dishonesty was seen as an abomination to the Lord. The principle of honesty in business remains crucial today. Consumers need to trust that businesses are dealing with them fairly. Using accurate weights and measures is not just ethical, it's the law in most modern societies. This law reminds us that our faith should impact every aspect of our lives, including our business dealings. We are called to be honest and fair in all our interactions. Deuteronomy chapter 25 verses 2 to 3 discusses flogging as a form of punishment. It specifies that the number of lashes should be proportionate to the crime, not exceeding 40. This might seem harsh to us, but in the ancient world, corporal punishment was a common practice. The limitation on the number of lashes was meant to prevent excessive cruelty. Public humiliation was also a form of punishment in ancient Israel. Deuteronomy chapter 25 verses 11 to 12 describes a scenario where a woman grabs a man's genitals in a fight. The punishment for this offense is to cut off her hand. These laws might seem shocking to us today, but they reflect the different cultural norms and understandings of justice in ancient times. It's important to remember that our modern-day sensibilities are shaped by centuries of evolving ethical standards. Deuteronomy chapter 25 verses 17 to 19 instructs the Israelites to remember what the Amalekites did to them during their journey from Egypt. The Amalekites attacked the Israelites when they were vulnerable, and God commanded them to remember this act and blot out the memory of Amalek. This command might seem like a call to violence and revenge. However, it's important to understand it in its historical context. The Amalekites represented a constant threat to the Israelites, and this command served as a reminder to be vigilant against their enemies. While we don't advocate for violence, this passage reminds us that evil exists in the world and that we have a responsibility to oppose it. Remembering past injustices can serve as a reminder to fight against oppression and injustice in our own time. The laws in Deuteronomy chapter 25 might seem outdated or irrelevant to our modern lives. However, upon closer examination, we can glean valuable principles that remain applicable today. At their core, these laws are about justice, compassion, and ethical behavior. They remind us to treat others with fairness and respect, whether in our personal or professional lives. While the specific applications of these laws might differ in our modern context, the underlying values they represent are timeless. By understanding the historical and cultural context of these laws, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the Bible's message and its relevance to our lives today. Are you ready for the next chapter? Just click here to go straight to it.